Hello, thanks for joining me, Nancy with North Star Ministry. So I came back. We're going to continue where we left off because I didn't realize it had gone so well over an hour. So I tend to get sidetracked a little bit. But anyway, so we're on Jeremiah, and as I said before, I'm rereading the last couple of chapters. So we're Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 56 right now. And so I will just go ahead and begin right where we left off. Okay, just a couple minutes ago. All right, we begin. Because the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken. For the Lord God of recompenses shall surely requite. See, because there's a record of everything that's ever done on the earth, and there's a time of reckoning when everything comes into the balance has to be restored. Okay, it's just a universal law. So everything's got to be whatever people dished out and dished out and dished out and dished out. There's a time when all of that comes right back and is delivered as a recompense upon them. All that dark negative energy goes right back to the source where it came from. Okay, so that's what's happened. You know, Babylon have been doling it out, all the oppressions and all the crimes against humanity all along. But now it's a time for all of it to come back to them. Okay, so you're going to see people going through towers, unfortunately, but it's just the time that we're in. And I will make drunk her princes and her wise men, her captains and her rulers and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep. So we're running pell-mell headlong into the culmination of all things at this time. It's Jacob's trouble. It's a time of affliction on the earth. Okay, it's Judgment Day. And they shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake, saith the King, whose name is the Lord of hosts. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary. Okay, notice it said the broad walls. Okay, the corporate churches, the walls are always indicating the walls of salvation, okay, and walls of defense. All right. You know, we hear in the book of Daniel that the street and the walls shall be built even in troublous times, and that's true in our day. Even in the time of Jacob's trouble, the walls are built, but it is the walls of salvation outside of the corporate churches. It's bringing in that last final harvest of all those that are on the byways and the highways that are being compelled to come in because there's still room at that wedding banquet. Okay. But those that are within the houses of worship, the corporate churches in the world that have trodden the truth underfoot for times and half a time because they were snookered and taken into captivity into Babylon incrementally and spiritually speaking, their walls are broken, and because it's the broad gate. Wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many there are that go in there at, okay? And this says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary. The word which Jeremiah the prophet commanded Sariah, the son of Neriah, the son of Maaseiah, when he went with Zedekiah, the king of Judah, into Babylon in the 4th year of his reign. And this Sariah was a quiet prince. So Jeremiah wrote in a book all the evil that should come upon Babylon, even all these words that are written against Babylon. So Jeremiah wrote it all down, right? Okay, and Jeremiah said to Sariah, when thou comest to Babylon, and shalt see, and shalt read all these words, then shalt thou say, O Lord, thou hast spoken against this place to cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it shall be desolate forever. Remember that desolation is what we were admonished to look for. When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation standing where it ought not, standing in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then ye which be in Judea, flee to the mountains. We all had until the end of that third day to come out, to flee to the mountains. And there were the people that, there was a multitude, which no man could number, that did heed that call. They saw that there wasn't any food there. They saw the abomination of desolation. They came out of great tribulation, and they washed their robes in the blood of the Lamb, and they were sealed. They were saved, okay? But this is talking about those that remained. None shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it shall be desolate forever. And it shall be, when thou hast made an end of reading this book, that thou shalt bind a stone to it, and cast it into the midst of Euphrates. And thou shalt say, Thus shall Babylon sink, and shall not rise from the evil that I will bring upon her. And they shall be weary. Thus far are the words of Jeremiah. Okay, so bind a stone to it. Well, Peter was a stone, Cephas, okay, typifying the corporate church, the New Testament corporate churches and congregations. So bind a stone to it, to Babylon, because in the end time, they have all become one and the same with Babylon. Okay, and they all come under judgment. So chapter 52, Zedekiah was 1 years when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did that which was evil in the eyes of the Lord, according to all that Jehoiakim had done. Through the anger of the Lord it came to pass in Jerusalem and Judah, till he had cast them out from his presence, that Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon. And it came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came, he and all his army, against Jerusalem, and pitched against it, and built forts against it round about. So the city was besieged unto the 11th year of King Zedekiah. And in the 4th month, in the 9th day of the month, the famine was sore in the city, so that there was no bread for the people of the land. Okay, it's the 4th month. It's the tail end. Tail end, there isn't any food. It's a severe famine. Okay. Then the city was broken up, and all the men of war fled and went forth out of the city by night. See, it was spiritual nighttime. It's nighttime. It's the time that we're in now. Okay. And by the way of the gate, between the two walls, which was by the king's garden. Now the Chaldeans were by the city round about, and they went by the way of the plain. But the army of the Chaldeans pursued after the king, and overtook Zedekiah in all the plains of Jericho, and all his army was scattered from him. So notice it was in the 9th. It was the 4th month, means at the tail end, and it was nighttime, by way of the gate. Okay, clearly, and yeah, Nebuchadnezzar came, king of Babylon came, he and all his army, against Jerusalem, and pitched against it, and built forts against it round about. So the city was besieged unto the 11th year of King Zedekiah. And in the 4th month, in the 9th day of the month, the famine was sore in the city, so that there was no bread for the people of the land. Then the city was broken up, and all the men of war fled and went forth out of the city by night. By night, they all left, they were going out of the city by night, trying to flee, trying to escape, by the way of the gate, between the two walls, which was by the king's garden. Now the Chaldeans were by the city round about, and they went by the way of the plain. But the army of the Chaldeans pursued after the king and overtook Zedekiah. He was the last king.